A new Washington Post investigation has uncovered more heart-wrenching details about the deaths of a 6-year-old Palestinian girl and the men who tried to save her life back in January. As we've seen repeatedly, the Post's findings conflict with Israel's claims that the Israeli Defense Forces were not, in fact, responsible for this tragedy. Now, Hind Rajab, the 6-year-old girl, and her family lived in the northern part of Gaza City for decades. But they fled further west as attacks by the Israeli Defense Forces were underway. At 9:32 a.m. on January 28th, the IDF put out a statement in Arabic on X, asking residents in the west of Gaza City to evacuate immediately. In response, Hind's uncle, Bashar, and his wife loaded Hind and her 4 cousins into a car to evacuate the area. Their plan was to drive north out of the evacuation zone and back toward the family home in northern Gaza City. But they didn't make it that far. The family stopped less than a quarter of a mile from where they started. Around 1 p.m., Hind's cousin, 15-year-old Layan, called Bashar's brother, Samir. She told him they were surrounded and the Israeli army had opened fire on their car. Everyone in the vehicle except for Hind and Layan were dead, she said. Samir called another uncle, Mohammed, who eventually reached the Palestinian Red Crescent Society. A dispatcher first reached Layan around 2:30 p.m.
الو مرحبا.
ايوه بتدخل علينا الدبابه جنبي.
انتوا متخبيين؟
في السياره احنا جنبينا الدبابه.
انتوا جوا السياره؟
The girl screamed and the call dropped. But while the dispatcher spoke to Layan, 62 gunshots were heard over 6 seconds in 2 bursts of fire. It's all recorded on the call. And in case there's any confusion over who's responsible for firing the shots, Stephen Beck, an acoustic analyst who consulted with the FBI for more than a decade, examined the recording at the request of the Post and found the number of rounds per minute fired was faster than an automatic AK patterned rifle, which Hamas fighters often use. The rate, he said, was more akin to weapons commonly issued to Israeli forces. So this evidence indicates that the family was fired at and killed by the IDF. But unfortunately, there's more. The call with Layan, which began around 2:30, ended in less than a minute. A satellite image captured roughly an hour later shows at least 4 Israeli armored vehicles around 300 meters up the road from the girls.